getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. Waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider.
Am I good now? Am I good now? Can you see me and hear me? Can you see me and hear me now? Can you see me and hear me now? Yes. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. It was 2 seconds left on the intro music, and the power just went out and came back on right away. So the internet had to reboot. So I'm sorry about that, y'all. Don't forgive me because I couldn't control it. But I'm sorry for the wasted 7 minutes of your life trying to figure out what happened to TD. Um, Tua Tagovailoa, the real conversation that needs to be had. Miami Dolphins. I'm gonna do my talking. I'm not gonna hold you long, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. But I got some things that I want to say and I want to talk about because I just want to say what I believe. I want to say what I think. I've been sitting back today, sitting here listening to everybody, sitting there reading everybody's commentary, tweets, videos, major TV, everything. And I guess all of it gave me my own thought process on everything that went down in the last 24 hours. And I'm going to give you my take. I'm not entertaining the people who did this or did that, said this or said that. All I can do is control what I have to say about all of these situations. I also want to say this, man. I want to speak on something that I can't control. I can't control everybody else and what their thoughts are. Okay. But I would just hope that as a Dolphin community, we've been through it with Tua Tagovailoa long enough to have our differences, to have our debates about on the field stuff, him playing, even his injuries and everything. But I'm urging some people to reconsider your thought process on all of this because some of you all, in my opinion, and just an opinion, are being just outright nasty to the kid as if he did something to you personally. Tua did nothing to none of us personally. He ain't did nothing to me. He ain't did nothing to you. He hadn't done anything to anybody personally. But these adulations and you know um just the excitement at the fact that he got hurt, I don't get it. I don't get it. All day, every day, talk about it's football. You don't believe, trash, whatever you want to do, but I don't get it. Um, like I know that there are haters, but I didn't know it was like this. Me personally, I thought a lot of the word hate came from the fact of people just didn't like your opinion of his play, and they called you a hater. But I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the hate now. This is some individuals are being hateful. Let's not do that. And I'm urging some of you all to reconsider your stance on that. But I recommend let's not do that because this real conversation we're about to have is more so geared towards caring about Tua Tagovailoa as a man. Okay, not even as a player. Philip O said Tyson calling out you, Doug, and all the other streamers in the roundtable video this morning was so wrong and uncalled for. I dropped my Patreon. Well, I saw that video. I saw that video, Philip, and I'm gonna be honest with you on that video. I actually talked to Tyson before he even dropped the video. I didn't even know what he was gonna drop, but the week before, he had actually come and said, "Boy, the Dolphin fans are the most disrespectful fans there are." I thought he was just talking trash, and I was, giving it back to him, whatever, blah blah blah. And he showed me some of the stuff that was sent to him from Dolphin fans mocking Mac Jones being carried down the stairs, screaming about pain. And he hit me up yesterday and said, "You know what, man? I feel real bad for Tua. And trust me, y'all don't have to believe me. Trust me, Master at Works isn't half as bad as some of y'all think he is." But he told me straight up, man, I feel bad for Tua This is why I hate the Dolphins organization, because I feel like they put that kid in that situation and it's just terrible for him. But I'm gonna keep it a real with you, TD. I'm about to expose the hypocrisy in your fan base. He says your, it ain't my fan base, but in our fan base. He said, I'm gonna expose the hypocrisy. I'm gonna expose the hypocrisy. I'm gonna do exactly what they did and watch how they cry. And I watched the video. He did exactly what a lot of people did to them. And yeah, a lot of people was crying about it. And he asked me, is it going too far, X, Y, and Z? And I honestly told him straight up, as long as you're not laughing at Tua's injury, at the end of the day, if you're showing it, you're showing it. It's just entertainment. And the stuff at the end is indicative of how the organization is basically doing the kid wrong. So at the end of the day, I know a lot of y'all hit me up on Twitter and in messages. You got to go against this and X, Y, and Z. I don't have to do nothing. I'm not that sensitive. That's not me. I care for this kid. I care for Tua Tagovailoa, but that video was not a knock on Tua. That video was, number one, entertainment, and number two, it was a bad timing situation because I know it gets in a lot of people's feelings because of the current circumstance. And we're going to talk about those feelings and so much more coming up in just a moment. But I'm not into all of that. I'm not into all of that. At the end of the day, these things don't shake me like they shake others, but I don't want to dismiss how some of y'all feel. If it hurts your feelings, it hurts your feelings, but it doesn't shake me that way. It's real life out here too. So at the end of the day, we got to talk about real life in regards to Tua Tagovailoa. I'm not hating on Tua Tagovailoa. I'm not. This isn't a stream to talk bad about Tua Tagovailoa at all. But we got to talk about a human element here and what's really going on. How many of y'all have seen the movie Concussion? Yes or no in the comment section. How many of y'all have seen the movie Concussion? Yeah, let me know in the comment section. And I'm shocked that when I ask people this, so many people haven't seen it, and it shocks me. It actually shocks me. So many people haven't seen it. It's an amazing movie, and I'm urging all y'all, especially Dolphin fans with what's going on right now, go watch the movie. First of all, you need to understand this movie was a real accounts of what actually happened. And trust me when I tell you, you're going to be looking at the NFL side eye after you watch the movie. And you're going to be like, dang, they were fighting to hide this that much. But you need to go check out the movie Concussion. It ain't no sci-fi. It ain't no science. It's a movie with actors starring Will Smith, obviously. And it's real accounts of what really happened during all that time where there was legal things about concussions and the NFL players with CTE. Please, Dolphin fans, make it a date night tonight or something. Go watch the movie Concussion. And do not look at that freaking movie as a joke or a movie. It is real. What they are portraying in the movie are actual facts. Okay? They are facts. No, it's not a documentary movie. It's a real movie about real events that happened within the NFL and the doctor who they tried to silence. Go watch the freaking movie. This is not a documentary. Oh, and they're not. It's not being narrated. It's a real movie. Okay? Go watch the freaking movie. And once you realize this isn't just selling the fact of how bad it could be and all this and that, and I want you to think about Tua Tagovailoa because this is serious. It's serious, man. All right, man. Let's go, man. I want to read this real quick. This is what an expert said today. And the sad part about this, I know that this is not going to happen. An expert today said Tua Tagovailoa shouldn't play the rest of the season after 2 head injuries, concussion expert says. Okay. But I want to read some of this. Okay. The Miami Dolphins quarterback seemed to have a fencing response after the hit Thursday night where his fingers froze, a sign you usually only see in stroke patients, says Dr. Chris Nowinski. After his second head injury in just 5 days, a concussion expert says Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa is at too high of risk for severe brain damage to play the rest of the season. On Thursday night, Tagovailoa was pulled off the field for signs of a concussion for the second time in 5 days. The 24-year-old had absorbed a hard hit during Sunday's game against the Buffalo Bills and was seen afterward as he went to the next down and was swaying afterward as he went to the next down before he was briefly removed from the game for concussion protocol. Tagovailoa returned in the second half after the Dolphins doctor announced that he had a back injury. Was absurd, said Dr. Chris Nowinski, a neuroscientist and the CEO of the Concussion Legacy Foundation. Tua showed 5 distinct signs of a concussion, Nowinski explained. First, he grabbed his head when he hit the ground, which is usually a sign your head hurts. Then he stood up. He took two bad steps sideways and backwards, causing balance. Because his balance was clearly off. Then he shook his head side to side in a classic clearing up the cobwebs, meaning he had a visual disturbance. Then he fell to the ground in a very awkward way. Then he stood up. And the only reason he didn't fall again is because his teammates held him up. That's called, according to the NFL protocols, gross motor impairment. And that should mean he never returns no matter what. Nowinski expects the Dolphins to hold Tagovailoa out for Thursday's game against the Cincinnati Bengals to let his brain recover, but the team doctors cleared him. And in the second quarter, Tagovailoa was sacked and his head again hitting the ground. In a scary moment, he was seen holding up his hand with his fingers frozen in place, a movement called a fencing response or decorticate posturing. That means that his midbrain was damaged, and it's worse than your run-of-the-mill concussion. It's something you usually only see in stroke patients after part of their cortex have died. It's a very uncomfortable thing to see. And he goes on and he goes on. Then he says, with likely 2 concussions in less than a week, the immediate danger is something called second impact syndrome, or SIS, a second concussion on top of a previous unrecovered concussion. SIS have been dire consequences, including permanent catastrophic neurological injury. Okay. And this is a guy whose life work has been in concussions, who saw all the signs, X, Y, and Z, whatever it may be. This issue is serious for Tua Tagovailoa. Do we know the extent of how bad it is? No one knows. And let me also tell y'all the saddest part about all of this. Even Tua doesn't know. Even Tua doesn't know the extent. That's why I hope y'all go watch that movie Concussions. Even Tua does not know the extent of damage that could have been caused. And we have all been praying, we have all been hopeful that no long-term damage or any damage comes from this, but we also live in a world of reality that these things happen and they have consequences. There have been so many people that failed in that Buffalo game in regards to this procedure that I don't want to get into pointing fingers, who's to blame. Everybody want to say this, that, McDaniel, the Dolphins, the doctors, the NFL, the NFLPA. It's so Tua himself. I mean, there's so many fingers that could go around to be pointed. But the reality of it is the injury was sustained. And I think that everybody's losing sight of the fact that this kid could be going through something that could change the rest of his life, and he doesn't even know it at this very moment. We sit here, we talk about who's to blame, and some of us have gone as far as when can he come back? That's all we're doing as consumers in this world. We want what we want, and we want it now. If you don't like Tua, you're hoping, hopefully Teddy stays or we get Skyler. If you love Tua, I hope he gets healthy. We need him to get back out there to prove himself. Was just having a good conversation with my brothers, man. And Tua don't need to prove nothing to nobody. This man has already proved everything he needed to prove. You know how I know? Because he made $32 million. That type of money takes care of your parents for the rest of their life, and you've accomplished something that most men dream of. This man is now married, has a child on the way, and at the end of the day, 2 concussions in 5 days. And what we saw on that field was gruesome for his fingers to do what they did and for him to be in a still position. It wasn't just scary, it was actually mortifying. It just wasn't good. It wasn't good. Forget football, man. Forget football. What you saw on that field, that wasn't good. And I understand Tua is a great person. He wants to get back out there. Mike McDaniel said it today. He came to him and said, I hope I don't miss this game, that game. And Mike said, stop. Stop worrying about football. And that's real talk. This ain't about football right now. This is not about football. This is about him being healthy for his wife and his kid or his kids to come for the long-term future. And we are so excited to see him out on the field that we could put that to the side and disregard it. We want, like, I'm seeing all these people wanting him to get healthy to come back and play instead of getting healthy to be healthy. It's the reality. I am telling y'all, man, this is different. This is beyond football. What y'all saw ain't normal. We've seen concussions all the time. Woozy, but what we saw ain't freaking normal. That's some major damage. And here's the messed up thing about it. That damage doesn't typically show up. We don't even understand more than 15% of the brain. We as humans have not even discovered, like, we don't even know anything about the brain. We know so little. We know so little. And when you watch the movie Concussion, you'll see every time them players collide, there's a chemical released in the brain that should never be released, but it's released. It's like putting your head in a blender and your brain is inside and it's shaking in there. But the more it shakes, now it starts releasing this chemical that causes CTE. It's crazy, man. We worrying about the game of football and when he can get back so we can keep winning at the detriment of him losing in life. Listen, man. Y'all know me. I don't want Tua getting hurt. I need that man on the field this year so he could either prove that he's the guy or he's not. He's either stay long term or he get up out of this city. Y'all know my stance on all that. But at the same token, ain't none of that above your health, man. None of that is above your health. This is what's important right now. And what a lot of y'all need to understand is, I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I got to be honest with y'all. I don't even want to see Tua on the field anymore. It's not that I don't want to see him become a great quarterback, but I got to keep it a buck with y'all. I'm scared that I'm going to witness the decline of a man. He takes another freaking concussion that's bad. Man, I'm telling you, some people said it, the words right out of my mouth. That man looked like something catastrophic could have happened on that field. He got up he went to the hospital. They released him this time. What if that don't happen next time? What if that don't happen next time? That third hit 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, 2 years from now. I don't care. These doctors will tell you, once you've had a concussion, you don't want to keep piling them up. You don't want to keep piling them up. Tua has barely been hit this year, y'all. And in the rare cases he's gotten hit, it's not good. Ain't nobody worrying about football right now. It's not worried about football. I'm not here to be watching the players sit here and deteriorate in our face. And don't get me wrong, I hope he gets better. I mean, come on, y'all be honest, man. Put all the whether you like me or not aside. What was I saying before the game? What was I saying the day before the game? What was I saying 2 days before the game? What was I saying on this stream? And I ain't gonna lie, I checked the comment section out. Oh, you just hating on Tua. You don't want him to play so he can't prove you. This ain't about football. What was I saying? I don't even think they should play this man. Let him chill. Because what I saw in Buffalo, even though I went with what they said, all you can do is go with what they said, back injuries. But I told y'all on this stream 3 times before the game in 3 different days. I don't even think they should play him. I think they should sit him out a week, even if it comes at a loss. I said that. I'm not making that up right now. I've been telling y'all they should just sit this man, even if it comes at the risk of a loss. Let him get healthier, because in the back of my mind, if that was a concussion, you don't want him to get a second one in 5 days. I'm going with what they saying. It's the back, it's the ankle. But if it was a concussion, what you don't want to happen is him getting a second one in 5 days. Because then it's major serious, and the doctors, what y'all got to understand is Tua could go in the facility right now, clear a concussion protocol. When he got rocked by Buffalo, 30 minutes later, I'm sure he could clear a concussion protocol. That's what y'all got to understand. Because concussions have you that way, then you right back to normal, but the damage is still going on up there. But now you don't know because your equilibrium has come back. So, yeah, I'm good, man. Ain't nothing wrong. Trust me, I'm good. Blah, blah, blah. Clear protocols. No, it's happening up here. If you see a freaking player being delirious or doing crazy stuff, man, sit they behind down and sit them down for weeks. This stuff is serious. You got to watch I'm going to say the all 22. I don't even know why. You got to watch the movie Concussion. They will explain all the details to you in the movie. And it is real. It is real. Freaking Aaron Hernandez and the things that he did that were so horrible. They examined this man's brain after his passing. and they found that he had major CTE. This isn't, and I'm telling you, when that chemical releases in your brain, it doesn't happen overnight. It's something that takes time and years, but the more you keep taking, the worse you're making it for the future. Y'all, I mean, listen, y'all could get 10 great years of Tua, but it ain't gonna be worth 20 years from now what you see him go through. I want a Super Bowl so bad. And they could tell me right now, hey, you get 5 Super Bowls with Tua, but this is what he's going to have to go through 20 years from now. I don't wish that on no man. I'm going to have to sit here and still be yelling at the screen about the next trash person. Not saying he trash, but y'all get my point. This is serious, man. People worrying about which game he could come back. He need to continue to play. Let me tell y'all something. Now I got to go further. And I'm telling y'all, you come with that you hating on Tua stuff, man. Just leave, okay? But I got to go further. The Miami Dolphins, I got to be honest about our organization. I don't know if they dropped the ball. I still don't know who dropped the ball because I've studied the protocol and it looks like many people dropped the ball in this situation. Matter of fact, everybody involved, in my opinion, dropped the ball. And that includes Tua, that includes the Dolphins medical staff, that includes the NFL spotters, that includes the NFL evaluators, that includes the NFLPA, the media, myself, everybody. I shouldn't even been, just like I forgot what his name was on TV today. He made a great point. Just like he said, I shouldn't have just been saying I would sit Tua. I should have been raising hell saying they need to sit that man or they idiots. So just go and observe about it because it's the truth. Everybody dropped the ball. Only person ain't dropped the ball this time, and it's for the first time. For the first time was Stephen Ross because he wasn't allowed to be around to drop it. He about the only one, unless he back. Maybe he actually back. I don't know. I forgot what his suspension date was. But real talk, man. But real talk. I'm sorry to tell y'all this. Yeah, Swagoo. It was Swagoo. I'm sorry to tell y'all this. I'm going to say this, and I mean it, and I mean it out of respect to Tua Tagovailoa. This ain't hate. The Miami Dolphins need to move on from Tua Tagovailoa. He's gotten his money. Don't be the organization that ran this man down like that. This is bigger than football. This is bigger than football. People want to wait to see Tua, what Tua showed me in the last 2 days, and I admire it. You got heart, you got grit, and you ain't going to quit. But sometimes you got to save him from himself. And the truth be told, I feel like we, including myself, have driven him to become this guy that just won't quit because of all the scrutiny he's gotten the last 2 years. He ain't going to quit. He talk about how as soon as he can get back, he ain't going to quit. And I admire that. But at the same token, bro, this is a different conversation, man. This is a different conversation. I don't want to see the third one. I don't want to, because once you get a certain amount, what people have to realize, they're easier to get. They're easier to get. Like, let's just say you need a force of 1 to 10 to get a concussion, and it got to be 10. Concussion. The second one, 10. Concussion. That third one, all you need is an 8. By the time you get to 5 and 6, you just need a 5. Everything concussing you. We don't need this crap happening. And another thing, we got to be honest with ourselves as Dolphin fans. We're not trying to knock Tua when we say this. I don't know what words to use in this to not trigger people, but he's not built to take the rigors of this league at this point. That's what I believe. Doesn't make me right. It's my opinion right here, and I'm gonna make sure y'all know this is my opinion. I'm realizing he's just not built to take the rigors of this league because, truth be told, both of the last two hits ain't even the hardest hits of the hardest hits. We've seen some quarterbacks get hit and be legal. Those weren't the hardest hits of hardest hits. All hits are hard. But it wasn't that blindside smack bang. No, this was come here, swing you around. You know? The injuries continue to pile up. They continue to pile up, and he hasn't been immune to it in any single season. The back, the foot, the neck, concussion, admit it now. It's the truth. I ain't trying to sit here and watch a game and put a kid in a risk of, and I ain't using the word dying, but just doing like something terrible happening. T. Rich made a good point in terms of CTE. No player should play this sport. I agree, but we know those who have it worse and those who are accelerated are the people who are getting the symptoms on the field, which are concussions. It's no different from boxing. You sign up for it. You know that this is a violent sport. Everybody knows in their contract that this is a violent sport, the risk you take. But once you start seeing the symptoms, that's why in boxing, when they knock you out, the ref counts to 10. And if you can't come to, this is over. We're done. Call it quits. And once you've been knocked out enough, boxers quit on their own. Yeah, I've had enough. That was my last fight. So everybody knows the risk. You're right, bro. Nobody should be playing this game because it's violent, but we enjoy our boxing. The boxers take the risk to give us our entertainment in exchange for a large monetary compensation. Even exchange, the way they see it. Same thing with football. And we enjoy it, the sheer will and competitiveness of this and the violence in this sport. This is what we enjoy. But it does become a certain point where you're starting to show symptoms. So if you choose to play the sport, play the sport. But once you start showing symptoms of the worst thing that can happen to you in the sport, I'm telling you, any player should call it quits. And I look at Tua Tagovailoa and I just say, you've got money, bro. You got a bag already. I mean, if anything, with a little bit of intelligence, your family's straight for the rest of their life. Is it worth it? And you're so huge of a figure, you're going to make money off the field too. And if we want to take it away from the human element, right, and we want to talk business in football, let's shift gears for a second. I'm talking to real Dolphin fans over here, right? In what world do you own a multi-billion-dollar business and you're going to take risks on employees like that? In what world? In what world do you take those kind of risks on an employee like that? Any corporation I know about to hand you your severance package and wish you the best. Matter of fact, we're going to send you a check every year for the rest of your life. I'm just being honest with y'all. That would be reckless. People just thinking about get on the field, get on the field. I don't care Tua come back in 2 weeks or something and go on to an MVP Super Bowl run. Y'all sitting here playing with a man's life. And you know what? And I'm not mightier than thou. I'm not gonna put myself on a pedestal. I'm not gonna sit here in front with y'all. I'm gonna be right there cheering them on. I'm gonna be right there cheering them on. That's the reality. Am I lying, y'all? Am I lying? Do y'all not feel the same? You know the risk he taking, and you hate that he taking it, but I'm gonna be right there cheering him on. I'm not gonna sit there and make it seem like I'm higher than anybody else morally. I just know that it ain't right. But if he chose to do it, who am I? But at some point, somebody, I don't know who that somebody is, a family member, a owner, a coach, a friend, has to have this conversation with him. It's going to ultimately be his decision, but they need to have a real conversation. Make sure them people ain't around you that's just benefiting off of you monetarily and want you to keep going out there so you can get the next bag, which means they get the next bag. This is bigger than football. And in the perfect world, he rehabs a few weeks. He comes back. He wins 5 MVPs. He goes to the Super Bowl. He's in Canton, Ohio. Nothing ever happens, and we're all good. That's a perfect world. But even in that perfect world, we still scratching our head when the man turned 55 and be like, Tua, you see how he acting a little? I hope he's okay. Oh, they're inducting Tua into the Ring of Honor this week, and he get on that field. Ooh, he look a little. I hope he's okay. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody wants that. All for immediate satisfaction by us. We just want our immediate satisfaction. Freaking Ring of Honor ain't gonna mean nothing compared to what his family going through every day. Plenty quarterbacks get concussions, right? Plenty of them get concussions. But they spread out. I had a concussion this year, and then 3 years later, I remember I got a little concussion. Give the brain some time to heal. People don't realize the damage that's done with 2 concussions in 5 days. 2 concussions in 5 days. They don't realize the damage that does. And you're right, Dylan. All these guys out here getting concussions, players, quarterbacks, 0.0000001% of all concussions showed what he showed with his fingers and all of that crap. Less than 1% of all concussions that we've seen on that football field look like that. And a freaking real doctor, not these TV doctors, not these YouTube doctors, a real doctor who studied concussions his whole life said what Tua gave you when his fingers and stuff did that was literally something that happens when people, I forgot what he said, catch seizures or something, and a certain part of their brain dies at that moment. TD, you're scaring me. Go watch the movie Concussion. I'm trying to tell y'all, go watch, because it's actually a good watch regardless. It is actually a good movie. And then when you realize this is a true story and it actually happened in the NFL, you can be like, man, I had no idea. You wonder why they all of a sudden gave them billions of dollars in retirement funds for medical with CTE and all of that because of that movie. Because of that movie. I saw the concussion movie years ago. It really makes you think. It was real. Yeah, strokes. Appreciate you, Chef Jew. And yeah, D Wade, you're right. A lot of ignorance going on in social media. The reason why ignorance is going on in social media about this, because their intent and their heart is in the wrong place. People that don't like to, I mean, everybody knows he held on to the ball too long. But regardless, he's not able to absorb these hits like most quarterbacks. Any quarterback could have get flung like that and they all could have did the same thing. But we've watched this game long enough to know that a lot of these quarterbacks would not have had that injury happen that way. Because we don't want to speculate on something that didn't happen, right? But some people that want him to prove the haters wrong, man, let's just pray that Tua gets better and he can come back on the field and be great. They just want to see him be great. And you know what? I got to say something to those people. I love and I admire your love for Tua Tagovailoa. It is, and I'm not saying that sarcastically, it is admirable. You are the epitome of ride or die. And that is a loyalty that can't be rivaled and unmatched. You should be proud of that. He should be proud of that, to have you as somebody that has his back. But don't forget, you got his back. You got his back, right? Because if you truly got his back, you should be talking about him. What game can he come back to continue to prove these haters wrong? I believe, in my opinion, you should be talking about Tua needs to sit down with his family and have a serious conversation, and whatever he decides after that, I support. That sounds like you got his back. If your only goal with Tua Tagovailoa is to prove some people wrong, then you ain't got his back. Just my take on that. And it's my opinion. Don't make me right. I'm going to say that a lot more now. It don't make me right. Because I think that'll help people take my message better. The kid is fine. He got a concussion. He's banged up. His tests are coming back fine. Mike McDaniel say he got a headache, but nothing's showing up. He's fine. But they need to make sure the professionals are involved in these conversations, because this is one area that you can't see the damage it's doing. This is the one area that you can't see the damage that's happening. It doesn't just show up on a scan. You don't just look at the scan and be like, yeah, you see right there, you crazy. No. It starts to happen over time. You start, and your family got to go through that. See, that's the worst part of these things, man. A grown man can make a decision, and it's his decision to make, to go put his mental at risk. But his family don't have that decision 20 years from now, when that grown man, and I'm not saying Tua, but that grown man is being violent to them. That grown man is hurting their feelings every chance he gets. And he don't mean it, but they didn't ask for that. See, nobody talks about that part of it. They just talk about the immediate and what his choice is, but nobody talks about all these men in their later age shaking and needing to be cared for, how much stress that's putting on the spouse and the children. Nobody. They don't care. Y'all made millions, blah, blah, blah. That's why, let me tell y'all something. You know who I commend? You rarely see them, but it's been happening a little bit more lately. Go look at, they had an article. I don't know what the title was. I don't remember, but I read the article. Okay, so trust me on this. They had an article showing you that the number of players after their first contract, their rookie year, are retiring after 3 and 4 years in the NFL without any injuries. Without any injuries. Retiring. A lot of players are coming in, getting that rookie money, and retiring after 3 to 4 years. And some of them have been interviewed and said, I'm not going to put my body through that. I'm not going to deteriorate my life. I've made enough money already. If I can't survive off of what I made, then I'm an idiot anyway. Boy, oh boy. Let me read some of the super chats. I'm so sorry I passed a lot of y'all super chats, but I had to say what I need to say. I still got a lot to say, but let me get to the super chats. Might be hard to accept. Tua whole career is questionable. It goes back to his hip injury. He's prone to spinal injuries. CNS is nothing to play with. It's not good, man. But we wish him the best. We hope that, long term, this is something. See, that's the only thing, man. He can come back and he can get healthy, but at the end of the day, we all sitting here cheering him on and we don't know the long-term impact. And deep down, it just bothers me, man. It bothers me. It was quite horrifying to see when I saw him like that, especially when he shouldn't have played in a game that was a short week. I told y'all, man, I'll take the L to get some of those guys healthy. Just leave them be. Honestly, at this point, Tua should be out for the season. His focus should be getting healthy, then decide if he can continue his career. Dolphins can go two ways: start Teddy or believe in the future, start Skyler. William Ray, me and you share similar sentiments. Tua wouldn't allow them to sit him for the rest of the year, though, because if we're going to have a real conversation, as we have been so far, Tua knows he can't afford to miss the season. Because him missing the season, he might as well retire. Coming into a 5th-year option that has to be exercised in the offseason next year, which won't happen in that case. Who's going to take a chance on him? And even if they take a chance, it's going to be minimal dollars. Is it even worth it for him and his family to be pursuing minimal dollars? People need to start to come to the realization of how important this season was for Tua. And that's why I believe he wants to be out there and he wants to fight through it all. But young fella, man, we love you too much for you to have to prove anything to anybody, bro. I mean, come on, man. And again, some people don't want to have this conversation because, I mean, let's be honest. What TD is basically saying is this probably should be the end of Tua Tagovailoa in the NFL. That's essentially what you can kind of hear me saying. And I know in a lot of y'all hearts, nah, bro, it ain't that serious. I mean, he got banged up a few times. He could come back from it. He'll be fine. I get it. But this ain't your life. This ain't your life being risked. This ain't your life. And I'm speaking real talk what I hope somebody else is speaking to him. And it ain't my life either to decide, but I'm going to talk this talk because I think it's the right thing to do. Because I'm telling y'all, I'm not the type of person that's going to be sitting here 20 years from now saying, told y'all, because that's the wrong thing to be saying, told y'all about. And it just sucks because there's a part of me that knows he's going to play and he's going to continue to try to extend his career. But it's a part of me that's just like long term in the future. I don't want to sit here and witness like, man, I remember when he should have quit. I remember when he should have quit. I don't, that's an eerie feeling. It's just eerie. Like, who was around you, bro? And at that point, it's bashing on them to even bring it up. So I'm going to say it now. When it ain't bashing on them and it's just a real conversation. I'm sorry, y'all. I get to these super chats, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's bothering me right now internally because it's pissing me off. Because it's like, what are you complaining about, TD? You have no control, but God, dog, please don't let this be the thing that y'all don't see. You don't see for yourself. Don't let this be the thing you want to debate with me about. He gonna make his decision and that's his choice. Fine. But don't make this the thing that we sit here debating about. You're wrong, you know. Don't. It's yucky. It's ugly. It's nasty. It's Y'all don't realize what these families are going through because that's something that I've looked into. Go look at what these families of these CTE victims are dealing with. We ain't talking about the hip injury, the back injury, the ribs, the foot, the ankle, whatever finger, whatever wrist, whatever hand. I mean, there's so many injuries. We ain't even talk about those. This one trumps them all. This trumps them all. You could give him all of those other ones together. Hell, his hip injury can mean he can never play football again. But CTE, it ain't even in comparison. It's not even in comparison. Sorry, y'all, man. Let me keep going. I agree 1,000%, TD. When is enough enough? It's tough because this kid, he's told me in the last 24 hours, he ain't gonna settle for enough. And you know, to be honest, you gotta respect it, you gotta admire it, but at some point, it's like, nah, bruh. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Nah, bruh, this ain't it. This ain't what's lit. This ain't what's popping. I get it. I'm sorry, I'm catching up to the super chats. All right, here's another one. I was at the game and when I saw his head get slammed into the ground, dude, I couldn't breathe. He didn't move for like 10 minutes. I was traumatized, thought I saw Tua die. No joke, scary, man. I knew the kid didn't die, but I was like, I thought he was done for good, done for done. Like, I thought that maybe he was something happened. There's a part of his body he may not be able to move or something. See, and we sitting here worrying about, those it's bigger than football. It's bigger than football. Ain't no touchdown in the world worth the worst that could happen. When we talk about two little concussions, right? Little concussions. That's what some people say. Man, the man had two little concussions, man. He'll be all right. He might be all right. And if he not, what does that look like? Tua also had concussions in college. I didn't know that. I didn't know he had concussions in college. Now I got to look up Tua's historic injuries. I did not know he had concussions in college. Are you sure about that? Mm. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I see a lot of injuries he freaking had, but I'm not seeing a concussion other than this one, September 29th. But hey, this may be wrong because it ain't even got the Buffalo's injuries on here. So I don't know. I know he had a lot of injuries in college. Um, whew, man. Hold on, let me see something. Uh, yeah, you may have to let me know when because I'm seeing a lot of injuries, but I'm not seeing a concussion. Brian Flores would have saved Tua from himself. Flores said it himself. He would treat Tua like his own son. Flores would not let Tua back in the game. Yeah, well, I can't dispute that. Flores definitely would have had him out the game. Um, yeah, for sure. But neither here nor there, man. Uh, sorry, y'all. I'm just catching up to these super chats because I don't want to do people dirty like that. They spend their hard-earned money for me to read something they want my top thoughts on. So I want to try my best to honor that. I'm going as fast as I can to find them. All right, there go another one. Alexia said, "I'm sorry for Tua, but I agree with you. He is a top 5 pick and should be okay. I wish he just crouch like Brady or Rodgers when about to get hit." That's another thing. See, it's one thing. Like Alexia, like I'm glad you said that because I wanted to stay away from that conversation because I didn't want this to be anything bad about Tua and his negative or what he ain't doing. But God dog, Nick Saban said it himself. He got a bad habit and it just showed again. Holding on to that ball. If a guy coming in your face, matter of fact, throw it at that guy's feet. Take an intentional grounding. Like do something. But I don't know what to tell you. Like Tua don't want an incompletion. It's almost like he was abused if he ever got an incompletion or something. This kid don't want an incompletion at all. He want every bit he can get of completions. Even I don't get it. Because that pocket was the cleanest pocket he'll ever get in his life. And then after about 4 seconds, the guy got loose and said, "I'm coming for you." And he was still like, "Oh, I got to get somebody. Oh, let me try to get away." And it was over. Get rid of the ball. It's second down. It ain't that serious, bro. It ain't that serious. Throw the ball at the man's feet. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Because what's going to happen is if you coach Tua to do that, he going to do it more than he needs to then. You see what I mean? It's a catch. I don't know, man. You have it or you don't at the end of the day. This is something that spans back to college. This is something that spans back to college. So it ain't like just an easy coachable thing. You got a history of it now. Look what happened to Muhammad Ali. Not worth it, man. Who are you telling? Every time I see him, I just say, "That's the champ. That's the champ." And it's gosh, man, this is what bothers me about that crap. Yeah, that's the champ. But gosh, it don't even have the same ring when you have to look at what he going through. That's all I'm saying. What he going through right now, it don't even and I'm sorry, I'm being too real right now. I don't want to be the champ. I don't want to be the champ. Like, you're supposed to be at the top of the world and be able to enjoy your last years and just reap the fruit of the reward, not pay for it. The fans are going to put him on IR and will not reactivate him for the rest of the year. The decision is bigger than football. The organization has to approach this from public relations perspective. JP, I'm with you on that. I think that I'm with you and I'm not with you. Listening to Mike McDaniel today, I needed to hear something like that, but the way he talking, we just take it 1 week. Nah, bro. Sit that man down. Sit that man down. I mean, oh man, nah. Man, I don't even know. They're gonna do what they do, and we just gonna talk about it when it happens. We gonna talk about it when it happens, man. I'm over it, bro. I mean, because let's talk real. Let's talk about the real reality of all of this. The best thing for him is a sad thing. The best thing for him is sad. No more football for Tua Tagovailoa. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. The best thing for him is sad. It's sad for many of us, including me. I ain't gonna lie, the last few weeks I've been just like low-key, like, prove me wrong, man. Like, because for real, I ain't giving nobody nothing till you prove it, but I ain't gonna lie. You doing something right now, and it's a beautiful feeling. And you want to see that play out to its fullest potential and be like, yeah, we got it. Oh my God, I can't believe this. But with the recent events, it's like the best thing for him is a sad event. Nobody want to come to that conclusion. We all still want the miracle. We all still want the miracle. Go play football and nothing else happened to you and you don't have any issues in the future. So we going to instill our hope onto his reality? No. So the reality is it's all sad. It's all sad, man. The truth of the matter is any professional doctor would tell him in their office, I don't think you need to play football anymore. They're like professional doctors. Every single one of them going to tell him that. I don't think it's wise for you to really even play football anymore. They'll tell him that. But the truth is, we know that this kid ain't going to give that up. Tua ain't finna sit down for that. He can come back if he learns to throw it away. Gosh, y'all. Y'all trying to find every way for him to be the guy for the future. Listen to me. The truth of the matter is, at this point, even if he throws it away, that's not going to stop late hits. That ain't going to, I'm not finna risk a 15-yard penalty for his future. I mean, y'all got to understand, this is the reality. He's not an individual who can absorb it. The rigors of this game. And we trying to justify it in our head of how we can make this work. And truth be told, even if we were to justify it, you're making him less than a certain player because now he can't even step in there and make the tough throws while getting hit. I get it. Don't get me wrong. We're going to try to justify it because, man, this is sad. We want to see Tua on the field. And I'm telling y'all now, the sad truth is, I believe you're going to see him on the field because he ain't going to make that decision. He going to be like, I feel just fine. He going to be thinking about the now. So I believe you will see him on the field. But the reality is, I promise, these professionals are telling him, I don't even know if you should play football anymore. Maybe give it a year or two, see if you start. See what a professional doctor will probably tell him? Take the year off. Next off season in about 9 months, come back in. Let's evaluate. Talk to us. Do you have headaches? Do you ever have moments where you feel a little woozy? They're going to want to evaluate you long term. They're not going to tell you go out there and put more damage on it. They can never assess you. That is not going to stop the hits on the quarterback. He's still going to get hit. I don't even know why I'm getting frustrated right now. Not at y'all. It's just this whole situation. Because truth be told, I'm starting to have this feeling of Miami wasting their time at this point. Miami wasting their time at this point. I mean, what? Even from a business standpoint, we going to give them $40 million a year now? We going to give them $40 million a year now? No Cap Trucking said, skill set wise, I'm not sold on Tua, but he's a human being at the end of the day. Walk away. I don't want to see him in a Miami Dolphins uniform as my QB, but he has to worry about life after football. I agree, bro. I agree. And you never know, man. Something could have been wrong with him anyway, because nobody's evaluating the game he played either. If you really think about it, like for me, like was something wrong with him anyway? The first drive he comes out, he looked like Dan Marino. But we all know the story with Tua. First drive of the game, scripted, we already know. Everything after that. I want y'all to really think about the next 2-3 drives. I want you to really think about how bad the next 2-3 drives were. Throwing in double and triple coverage. Almost got picked off 3 times. Well, he got picked off once. One Tyreek saved, and the other was too far. Like, was it all there anyway? Was he dealing with something anyway? After he took a few hits. Nobody also notices on some of those deep throws before the concussion play, he took some hits. It could have been started for him. And that's why those throws start looking like, what are you doing more and more? Who knows? He could have been standing there holding the ball and not from a slow blinking standpoint, but not processing fast enough because he could have already been woozy. You don't know. You don't know. You got another donation said, love Tua, but Miami has to bench him and bench him. What happens next time? Should NFL should step in. If you got to play him to retire, so be it. It's only football. I ain't gonna lie, the NFL does need to step in, but again, you can't just write somebody's future. He still got a choice of his own to make. Tua should follow in the footsteps of Andrew Luck and retire early. Hard decision to make, but it seems necessary at this point. Sorry, I'm catching up on the super chats. Kyle said, if Tua were to come back this season, I think I would cringe every time he gets roughed up. Oh my gosh, it would be hard to enjoy the game that way. Let me tell y'all something. I was cringing in this game. Every time he got hit, I was like, he got up. Okay. Like internally, I was checking on that. And when he went down, I was like, man, he holding on to, he done. Like, that's why I went so straight to he done. And then when I saw his fingers, it was over. Because of what happened in Buffalo. An extension is pretty much off the table now. He shouldn't put himself at more risk, for nothing. This was the season to prove health and skill. Slipping Jimmy, you just made a point that is the seriousness of the conversation as well. Tua's evaluation was never just his play this year. The one thing that nobody talked about much was the fact of he had to stay healthy this year. I even said, but I'll give him 2 games if he missed 2 games, wrist, the ankle. But this is different. Even if he only missed 1 game, this is different. This is something that has a long-term effect. And then every time this man get hit, it could be massive. Thank you. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm still catching up on these super chats. Praying for Tua. It'll hurt the teammates seeing Tua rushing back on the field, knowing what can happen more than having him out the season and resting. But you know what? It would hurt the team. But you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. They need to check on our players right now. Because especially if Tua come back to play, they need to check on them. See, this is the silent thing that nobody talks about. If those players see Tua come back on the field, they could emotionally be conflicted. None of them are going to say a word. I don't believe none of them will say a word, but they will be emotionally conflicted. They know that they have bought into their brother. That is their brother on that field. They have brought into their brother and they have rallied together and said, we are going to do our part this year to prove to everybody how great you are. Just do you. I truly believe this team has rallied behind Tua this year. And they have all made a pact that they are going to play their best football so that they don't become a reflection of any poor play of him. So that he can get the respect he deserves. But when you have a situation like this, all of them are going home with their wives, their girlfriends, their little side, whatever it is, their situation. And they laying in bed having these conversations. And the sad truth of it is, half of them coming up with the conclusion, to be honest with you, man, he shouldn't even be playing no more. Because they know how serious this is. They go through classes and everything when their career starts about this stuff. And they all know right now that it probably ain't even wise for him to play. At least he got a bag. At least he got some money. But they go in that building and watch that man in that building with them. They're going to be happy and they're going to play for him, but they're going to be conflicted emotionally because at any moment, they all probably feel internally, we let this happen. It ain't our decision, but God, dog, we knew the risk. And we sat here and watched it happen. And that can mess with their mental. And it may not mess with everybody's mental, but it'll mess with some of their mental, man. Everybody ain't built the same. They better make sure if he comes back and when he comes back, if he does, that they check on them players. How do y'all feel about him coming back? Do you feel that it's risky? Ask him all the tough questions. Let them talk about it. Let them get it out. And a matter of fact, if I was the owner, I would have a focus groups bringing each player in one by one. What do you feel about Tua coming back? Do you think it's the safest thing to do? And everybody who feels like, I don't think it's wise for him. Do you think would you want to tell him that? because they got to talk through all of this, man. They brothers on this field. And if you family like you know you are, but they also don't want to mess with nobody, no player wants to speak on another player's bag. No player wants to speak on another player's bag. So it ain't my business, but I just wouldn't do it. But the moment he go down and they know it's over for him, all of them going to be heartbroken. And maybe not all of them, but some of them guys going to be heartbroken. They going to feel this one inside. They going to know they knew he shouldn't have been out there. They going to understand why he did it, but gosh. I mean, you got guys that's going to be playing to make sure he don't get hurt. And if he does, like think about the guy who give up the sack on the next time and he out. That person, what they think, how they're going to be impacted from it. All these things matter. Mental health, it comes in so many forms. Man, I love Tua. He is my brother. He is a great man, son, husband, soon to be father, excuse me. Please, Tua, retire. Your family needs you. The world needs you. The world is a better place with you. Please, Tua. Thanks, TD. Listen, man, I was saying this to my brother as well when we were talking just now before this stream, and sometimes maybe this ain't where God wants you to be anyway. Maybe you got bigger purposes anyway. That's what I always thought with Tim Tebow. Maybe this ain't where he wanted you to be anyway. Maybe he put you here for a brief moment to get you even more polarizing to go do greater works. Sometimes that's what it is. You never know, but that's between him and his faith. So I don't know, but sometimes that's what happens. And he'll put you through these things to move you where you need to be. I don't got to let that play out as well. Got to let that play out. Man. Real take, TD. Appreciate your view. I'll be honest with y'all. These thoughts been going through my head all day, and I was just sitting there like, man, people are going to be mad at me for telling the brutal truth, but I think it's right. I'm actually shocked that people ain't coming at my neck right now. I'm just so used to it. ATD will say it was the same situation as the hip injury, holding the ball too long for over 10 seconds. I don't see us winning versus the Jets with Teddy or Minnesota. It's Brissett all over again. It's not, bro. I'm gonna start talking back football in that regards because this is gonna be my last stream for the month. I'm gonna start talking football in that regard starting tomorrow because I'm actually going to move past this situation. And I'm going to talk in terms of Teddy and Skyler until Tua is cleared or is healthy to play or whatever it may be, because I think that's important too, so that we could be fair to the rest of the team. But talking about Tua and his injury for the next couple of weeks is, I feel like it's just like just unnecessary. Yeah. Unless some news come through, updates and stuff, that's different. But I'm gonna evaluate the team going forward starting tomorrow. We had a massive month. Wow, I caught up to the super chats. This is a good time to start to wind down. We had a massive month, y'all, on TD Fins Talk. Get Cam Newton on the phone. No, sir. You already got a guy named Skylar Thompson, and Teddy Bridgewater was not as bad as y'all making it seem. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay? But real quick, I want y'all to know we had a massive month. We had one of the biggest months as a channel that we've ever had. I'm about to go through some of the stats with y'all because I want to thank y'all so much. Bills fans here. TD preach on prayers for Buffalo, New York on Tua. Getting healthy if possible. Much respect. Salute to you, good sir. We had a massive month. It's a lot to be celebrated here on TD Fins Talk. I'll probably do a stream tomorrow, kicking off the month as well, congratulating the channel on hitting 23 1,000 subscribers now. It feels like yesterday we were just celebrating 22, and right now we're at 23,000 subscribers. Like, we've never had growth this fast before. Just so you know, in September we added 1.4 thousand people. 1,408 people have subscribed to our channel, not including today, because it's another like 30 today. But 1,400 new family members, y'all. I want y'all to think about that. 1,400 new family members joined us this month alone in September. Last month in August, 1,200 family members joined us. 1,000. Oh, well, excuse me. I stand corrected. 1,128. Okay. But this month we crushed that with 1,400 new family members, man. That is huge. Right now, this month, we've got over 485,000 views. After today, it'll be 500,000 views on the channel. We're just doing some amazing things. It is taking off. It is getting insane. It is getting crazy. Our community and our family continues to grow exceptionally. And I owe it to every single one of you sharing the videos, letting your friends and family members know about this channel. I will say this, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I point out the obvious over here. A lot of people call my bluff for several months. And I think in the last 2 months, I've proven that I have been fair. I have been fair. I have been a very fair guy in this community for the last several years. And it wasn't my fault that if somebody gives bad play that I got to give nothing but bad evaluation. I'm giving you the truth. And when we finally get great play, I showed that he deserved nothing but great praise and adulations. And I showed that. I didn't make excuses. I ain't say, yeah, but the secondary, yeah, but this, yeah, but that. Nothing but praise. This is why those people that made all the excuses and made it seem like he never improved, he was always like this, people are getting numb to that now because they're like, well, it's nothing to celebrate if he never improved. And they're realizing, oh, we were over glorifying all this time to begin with. It's always going to be the truth over here, whether we like it or not. And it don't make me right, but I just give you my opinion, an unfiltered one, not all caring about too much feelings and stuff, just telling you the truth. And sometimes you need to hear that. And there's times I'm going to lose 1,000 subscribers. And there's times that I'm going to gain 1,000. Because I'm not here for this subscriber count. It excites me because it means more family members, but that ain't my goal here. My goal is to get us in here, having productive conversations, letting y'all voice count. I know I do all this speaking, but I'm reading what y'all say. I'm talking about what y'all say. I do roundtables, panels, listening to y'all. So I don't have no beef for anybody who's in competition with me because I'm not in competition with them. Everybody who's in competition with me, I wish them 10 times more subscribers than me real quick. So maybe then they can look at me as a little guy so they don't have to come at me and come for me all the time. We'll be much stronger as allies instead of enemies. But I don't have no enemies. I'm here to uplift everybody in this community if you allow me to, especially if you have a platform. Let's collab. Let's get people to know who you are. Ain't no time for all that jealousy. That's an emotional trait, a feminine trait. And I'm sorry that I don't have that. Love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. I went hard this month. I had a goal this month to stream 95% of the month, which was almost every day, only miss about 2 days. And I truly believe I accomplished that. I provided content every single day, and some days 3 and 4 times. And I want to see if I can go hard again in August. And I know October. And I know I got my baby girl coming. And, the first part of August, about the first 10 days, that's why I'm glad that we got this little break right here. I will be focused on family a little more because it's important to me. It's important to, I hope y'all as well. I'll be streaming this Sunday. I'll be streaming some of the games that I feel like is important for us. But when the baby comes on Tuesday, I might do Thursday night game too, though. I'm just saying, because I do have some sponsorship obligations. But I'm still gonna go hard. But just remember, if I'm taking some time here and there, it's only because I'm doing what's right by my family. All right. I don't want y'all to feel like I'm slacking or nothing like that, but I'm still gonna be bringing this content. Because starting next month, which is tomorrow, we need to start talking about what we need to do to still make the playoffs. And we 3-1, and you like, what do you mean still make the playoffs? We good. I know we've been good many years, but there's some circumstances that have changed that we have to talk about. Is Teddy the best option? Should we just see what we got in Skyler now? Because some tough decisions are going to have to be made in the offseason. And if you don't believe some tough decisions are going to have to be made in the offseason now, you're kidding yourself. And that don't even matter. Even if Tua come back and ball out, there's some tough decisions that still have to be made in the offseason now. So much to conversate about. And we're going to have those conversations over here. Gary said, TD, those community stats are because of you. Your passion, straight talking, educated football knowledge is unique. Hell, I'm a Bills fan and I watch all your stuff. Congrats on what you're building. Salute to you, sir. I love when Bills fans, Jets fans, Baltimore fans, Chargers fans, it's a lot of fans say, man, I love watching you. And they not even Dolphin fans. But my haters come back and they say, see, all these other teams like him. That show you he hate on the Dolphins. I'm like, oh, Lord. Anyway, no matter what happens to Tua over the years, one thing I admire about him is that he never stops smiling and keeps getting back up. I agree. It's a great kid, man. Tua's a great kid. He really is. That's why we wish him the best. But we also want the best for him. So it's a tough situation. All right. How far are we from 23,000? As of right now, we are actually at 23,019 subscribers. So we're past 23,000. We're at 23,019. So tomorrow, I'll just put a title on. Congratulations, we hit 23,000 subscribers. We added 1,400 new subscribers in the month of September. I go on Twitter and throw all those stats out. So my haters side-eye me like, how does he keep winning? Tua is assemble. We are doing our job. Not a knock on Tua, but I still don't like them Tua-neers, man. There's only a handful of Tua-neers I rock with. T-Rich, one of them, man. Oh, man. But that's the only place, I ain't gonna lie, I get out of character on Twitter. I am not well behaved on Twitter. If you follow my Twitter on the normal, you'll be like, I can't stand this guy. I don't even know why I'm subscribed to him. Trust me. I tell my subscribers, don't follow me on Twitter. They say, well, what kind of guy are you that tries to antagonize people? God ain't done with me yet. He ain't done with me yet. Because them 2 years on Twitter, boy, I'm telling y'all. So, tomorrow I'm going to go on Twitter, probably tonight. I'm going to flex a little, give them the stats and be like, yeah, I know, just talk a little talk, have some fun, and stress them out another day. But it is what it is. Only 200 people are viewing Tyson right now. Oh, he live. Oh yeah, he is live on the round table, man. But I'm gonna tell y'all in regards to Tyson, a lot of people didn't like the video that he posted. It's entertainment. I think that a lot of people look at it because they're emotional right now, what happened. But he said to me personally, and I do respect that, he feels real bad about what happened to Tua. It pisses him off that the organization put him through that because he feels that way with Mac Jones. But he did tell me he's going to expose the hypocrisy of how people deal with Mac Jones and watch how they start crying whenever it happens with Tua. And sure enough, people were mad. But I get it, man. It's a lot of emotions involved. And I told him, hey, man, if I were you, I wouldn't take it down because you know why? It is what it is, man. I'm one of those people. That's why I'm not even a big Kevin Hart fan. But the first one the one he did, Laugh at My Pain, I'm the type of person that tries to find the humor in pain. Because I can't take 2 L's, man. My life can't take 2 L's. That's one thing. I told y'all this the other day. I refuse to take 2 L's in life. I'm already hurt and I'm taking an L that Tua got hurt. But I ain't finna be all in my feelings taking another L, moping about it and getting mad at what people got to say about it. I just can't take 2 L's. TD, 2 wrongs don't make a right. I agree, but it ain't my right to do it. That's his choice. If it's tasteless for you, you don't like it, tune out. But I'm telling you, it's his choice, though. Don't take that second L. Don't take that second L to where that's bothering you. We already dealing with enough knowing that Tua went down, especially he was playing good football. And we might be losing out on our future asset. That's already an L. Don't let what other people say or do about it give you another L and get you in your feelings. Stop taking 2 L's in life. I don't care what it is. You get fired from your job today. You took an L. Don't go sitting moping and go into depression and take a second one. Because after the first L, whatever L you take after that, you're giving yourself. You're giving it to yourself. Now, don't get me wrong. Depression is strong. Sometimes you can't fight it off. And you're not just giving it to yourself. And in that case, hit me up. Maybe I can help. I don't know what to tell you. I can just tell you what helped me when I went through depression. I remember I was a manager. I was literally in management for an insurance company, Fortune 500 company, high in the ranks. And employees, oh, I'm going to need time off. I got depression. My first thought, oh my gosh, here we go again with this. I used to be that person until I experienced it myself. And I realized it's real. It's as real as it can be. It's real. So don't take 2 L's. And if you can't help it, that means you're probably in depression. Hit me up and I can tell you what helped me. All right. That's all I can offer for you right now. But once again, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. We gonna be all right. Let's figure out how we gonna get to the playoffs with or without Tua, because it's still team over everything. And we hope all our troops stay healthy. All right. Love y'all so much. I'm gonna catch y'all later. I'm about to, binge watch some stuff with the wife and take this one in for the night. Great September, y'all. Salute to y'all. Now I know why Megatron and Coochly retired early. Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm out of here, y'all. I'm out of here. Salute. Peace. God bless.